Hi, I'm Ann with Kai Dragon Gardening and Cooking Channel, and I want to talk to you today about nature and saving the birds, getting ready for winter, and also the National Wildlife Federation. Did you know that you can certify your yard by following simple steps as long as you are able to sustain them, to take care and protect your wildlife like your birds? So they need places to eat, so they need good feeding stations. So as you can see, I have a camera feeder over there that I make my own mix, and so I can get pictures of the different birds when they come and take their feast. I also have different bird feeders and stuff over here to the back. I like the cylinder feeders because they're not near as messy, and I have several different types. I have a sapphire log specifically for my cardinals, and I keep them down low, and I use the feeders like this, but they have places where the bird can actually sit to eat, and they really like it. So food, one of the number one things. Make sure that you're cleaning your feeders. Make sure you don't leave them get all gunked up and dirty and everything. Wash them out, let them dry real good, you know, sun dry them, whatever, before you put more food back in them. And then if you want a variety of birds, you've got to put out a variety of food. So we use the suet cakes, we use the different grains of food. I try not to use a lot of food that has Milo in it. There's a lot of people around the neighborhood who feed birds, and naturally we end up with Milo in our yard because, you know, the birds eat it. They come back over to your yard and feed. They, you know, do their business in a planter, and next thing you know, you've got Milo and other stuff coming up. So water is another thing that you need to have for your wildlife. So you want to have lots of watering sources, and of course the bees are trying to get a drink out of the fountain.
That's not a bee.
That was a wasp.
Yeah.
I'm allergic, so I gotta be careful.
Which I pointed to warn you. There's a wasp there.
So we have different ones. I try to get out every other day and wash them out really good, because especially during the hot summer they will get really gunky. Another thing that I have found is you can get these little copper discs and put them in the bottom of your bird baths and stuff, and they do help them stay cleaner. You can also get brushes. Wendy, are you hunting? She's obviously not hunting for birds. She's hunting for other native creatures that like our little playground. But I tried to have like a water wiggler or a solar fountain or something to keep the water moving. You want that water movement so that way it's not getting stagnant and moldy, and you want to change it out every other day. Is a really good habit to get into. If you can't do it every day, make sure you're doing it every other day. So you got your food, you got your water. You probably cannot see it, but believe me, I will have my camera guy kind of turn around. I have little bird houses for places to raise their young, hidden all over. On the back side of this trumpet vine and honeysuckle, there are probably 20 different houses, and of course they are well camouflaged now with the honeysuckle and the trumpet vine. I've got some in the Rose of Sharon, I've got some in the rose bush, I've got them hidden all over the place because I want them to have places that they can raise their young. I've even got little hummingbird houses in different spots too. The other thing is providing a shelter for them when it is cold and rainy and everything, and you're going to do that by leaving little brush piles, planting bushes, letting the trumpet vine and the honeysuckle grow over so that way it makes a shelter cover. You can cut it back some once spring and summer are over with. Cut it back a little bit, but you want to at least make sure you keep one side of it hanging down pretty good to provide that winter shelter that they need. And I'm a firm believer in little tiny brush piles. They don't have to be really big, but when you have a storm, pick up some of those sticks and make a small log pile, and you can put it up next to the area where they sleep and raise their young and stuff. They will have a place that they can hide so they can get away from predators and stuff, and they can be protected from the cold and the wind and the rain and whatever nature throws at them. So remember, food, water, places to raise their young, homes, and shelter that they can get into to protect themselves, and sustainability. You have got to sustain that. You have to make a commitment that you are going to keep doing this from year to year and not just neglect them. I try planting a lot of native wildflowers. If you can see, this is a sunflower I haven't pulled yet. We had some as high as 12 foot tall this year, and the faces on the sunflowers were like this. They eat those seeds, and once they fall apart, then you can go ahead and you can put them in your compost pile. You can break them up. You can even stick them in the brush pile. It's not going to matter. But sunflowers are also good for your garden beds. They actually do put nutrients back into the soil. So that's another thing, if you didn't know that. Sunflowers don't hurt your garden. They actually help your garden. They might be a nuisance, but they really are pretty when they're in bloom. So native flowers, flowers with seeds that are going to feed the birds. A lot of your bushes make seeds during the winter months. They'll feed the birds. Just make sure that you sustain that and have a beautiful area that they can come back to, because a lot of times if they have babies and they raise their young, a lot of times they will stick to a certain radius that they won't go too far away from. They'll get used to a habitat, and that's where they like to go. So do these practices, certify your yard, and support your local nature. Thanks.